Alright, I'm going to try and document this for anyone else who has to do this. Don't know how well it's going to work today because I forgot my tripod and I'm away from the house, so. This is my second flushing I'm doing. This is day 2 or day 1 after surgery. So yesterday was my surgery. And they tell you to flush with the neti pots like 4 times a day. My brother had similar surgery. He bought me this for my surgery. It works great, but you could use the just the simple bottle with the squeeze on it as well. Little nitty things. You can make this solution at home as well if you don't have a neti pot, or if you run out of these things. It is 2 to 3 tablespoons of pickled or pickling salt. You can find it in the pickling salt area at the grocery stores, or 2 to 3 tablespoons of baking soda with distilled water. So that's what you'll use to make this mix if you don't have it or you just want to do your own. Then of course you're using a very small amount for each cup. Like this goes into like an 8-ounce bottle, and that's very little amount. So 2 to 3 tablespoons will last you quite a while. You should be able to flush 4 times a day using just what's left there. So I'm filling it with lukewarm water. That'll help the salt dissolve into the mixture. Now with this one, it's got a low power spray, and a high power spray. Now since we just had surgery, we don't want to do the high power, low pressure. And just because I'm going to be extra careful with it, I'm not even going to stick it right into the nose. I'm going to have it close to it. So this bandage, they don't want me to get wet. I had septorhinoplasty surgery. So I had a severely deviated septum. It made like a Z on the inside, all the way to the left and then all the way to the right. So they had to do a rib graft, and luckily they didn't take it off my ribs. They took some cartilage off the rib of a cadaver and used that to replace all the cartilage they had to cut out of my nose because it was too damaged. Now, they didn't tell me that that was an option until the day of surgery. But the day of the surgery, the surgeon was talking to me about it and saying we could use, he calls it off the shelf cartilage. I guess he was trying not to freak me out about cadavers, but I'm not worried about dead people's body parts being in me. So the day of surgery, he told me that. He said there's a 90% chance he wouldn't need to do a graft off my actual ribs, which is great because that's a more painful part of the procedure. And he didn't want to do it if he didn't have to. So you can see it's pretty dried up in there. So see if we can. Oh, can't zoom in. All right, well. Anywho, if I get in the right light, you can see there's 2 little tubes in there, the stents that they put in. But I'll get to that later. So they also gave me antibiotic ointment that I'm supposed to put on the stitches. You see the stitching? So I'm supposed to just get that with some antibiotic ointment when I'm done. And they said to use a Q-tip. So I got some Q-tips in this bottle. Keep them sterile as best I can. And I'll do that after I'm done flushing. Because I don't want to wash off the antibiotic ointment. So I already got my batteries in here. Cases right here to release and put. I think it's 2 AA's or 2 AAA batteries in there. I forget. But it's the NetiMed Sinugator. But it works really good. But like I said, if you have just the regular squeeze bottle type, you can do that too. I think it's probably good. And I'm probably going to go grab one just to have better control over the flow of water. But here we go. Just stick it. Now, if you're actually able to get it to go up in and flush out through, they tell you say K when you're doing it, and that'll help lift up the palate in the back so that the fluids don't wash back down your throat and make you gag. Not the funnest. Now, when you hear it sped up, that's when you know it's almost out of water. And there's enough saline in there. I do a second rinse. I try to do 2 bottles for each nostril. Definitely do this over a sink or the bathtub. Okay. So like I said, I try to do one of these packets for each side because I do 2 bottles worth. And this is also why I want to do the cheap bottle because I don't want to get blood all over this thing. Oh, it seems pretty clear. This side seems to be the one that's doing the most. So I'll go back and do a little bit more on the side that's actually draining the most. Everybody's situation is going to be different, so. The doctor said you could do as many times as you want, but at least 4 times a day. So it's nice to know that I don't have to worry about getting it too flushed. But do the other side one more time, just see if there's some lodged in there. Doctor says you can blow, just don't try to blow hard. Just doing like it's fine. Just don't go, where you got to put a lot of effort into it kind of deal. Clearing out a little bit. I was so packed up last night after the surgery that it was almost hard to breathe. And then that's it. Then I got gauze pads. They call it a drip pad. I'm just going to take some of this tape here. That's like paper tape, I think they call it. And what they gave me is these little iPads compresses, but you can use regular gauze pads, cushion gauze pads, whatever floats your boat. I had tons of these from my foot surgery earlier this year. And if you're doing this 4 times a day, these are going to go by real quick. And I think these are cheaper to buy than these, quantity-wise. All right, so before I do that, I'm going to take my little ointment. And I'm going to get my this is back to Tracing. You can buy this in the store. They gave me 2 bottles worth, so it should be good. And so just don't need a whole lot because I don't have too many visible stitches. But just put a tiny little dose on there. That's probably too much, but try and go right across the bridge there where the stitches are. Oh, you can see in there, you can see the tubes. Hopefully you can. All right. I'm going to pause this while I do this because it's too hard to do. All right, so I got it on there. You can actually see I got some stitching that's just like sitting out, but all right, next part. This tape. What I want to do is I want to try and cup up that pad. And you need to have room, enough of it to fit on your face. So probably a little bit more than I need. But you want enough to go underneath and then to attach to your cheeks. So and what I found to be the easiest is to drop your pad about midway on there. I would place it right up on my nose. Not to put too much pressure on it, but I want it to be snugged up there so if anything leaks out, it goes down into the gauze and doesn't bleed down onto my lip. But I also don't want it too low that if I try to drink something or eat something, this gets saturated. Because then I got to change it out. So that's it as far as the flushing goes. They did give me a round of antibiotics that I need to take until they're out as well. They gave me some nausea medications that you just drop in your tongue, let it dissolve. Keep everything in the little baggie that they gave me. Keep it organized. Keep everything together. And I'll take this one out of the box too because I don't need to have this big box in the way. This is a cute little bag my wife got for storing our saline solution because we use the neti pot outside of this normally to clear our sinuses. They did give me some premium saline as well. So I have this as well to flush with. But if you see the size of that bottle, it says use 2 sprays in each nostril every 2 hours post-op while awake. Now, they said you can also use Afrin. So if you run out, you can go to the store and buy Afrin. Afrin's going to close up the blood vessels, which will help keep it from bleeding and draining all over. So, just an FYI. Alright, I guess that's it for this show. And I will continue my day progress with day 2 or day 3. We'll call it day 3 because day 1 was surgery. So we'll call it day 3 tomorrow.